Ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, as you're tuning in, hit that thumbs up, and if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to our wonderful channel. Guys, as you can see from the thumbnail, we are red. We've been a little inconsistent in the last month and a half. Ever since mid-September, things have been a little tricky for us. We started the week off with some technical difficulties, but more so, we did have a good stock in LIFW, which gave an incredible move. We were able to get green, but then went red. So we were down 1,500 on Monday. Yesterday, great trading, up 500 at the end of the live stream. Did have some small losses after that. Ended the day up 300 or so. And then now today, back in the red, and a sizable red day at that, down 1,400. Relentless trader, the Uverist, whatever the word is, the prognosticator, the pastor. What is going on, brother? Guys, today was one of those days, man, where I did keep the wrist tight and we took some decent trades, but we did get caught in a few areas. We're jumping straight to the archives. We're not wasting any time. I've been showing a ton of archives lately. We're gonna tighten up on showing archives moving forward, because as you guys know, this is something that is exclusive to my students only. Only the students are really and truly supposed to have access to all my archives. So I am giving it out here for a treat for those of you on the YouTube stream. Uh, so let's go ahead without any further ado. This was uploaded today, so let's talk about the trades that we took. Let's go back and see some of those entries, and we don't need to watch everything in detail because I will do that a little later here today. But let's go back and at least just see where we could have went a little bit better, what we could have done differently in some of the highlight areas, moments, and trades. So I'm watching here SPRC down at 687. I'm long 94 down here, watching to see how well this thing wants to curl, and I'm looking to give it a chance to break for the 1 minute candle to make the new high. And I think this is going to end up being a good trade. We sold 200 shares there, coming out slowly. Another two. So this is a good trade here to start the day. Now, because it is so early, I'm starting with super small size, and it might have been better. Let's put it like this. I think we needed to use the small size, but of course this would have been great to have this type of trade with a little bit more size. Let's say 2K, 2,500. Really and truly, if it's that type of size, we're already up 600. That's the difference, right? But again, we're starting off small just to make sure that we don't take that huge loss. If we do go long 95, this thing flushes out at 70, 60. We're not down 600 to start the day. So fair trade here, not bad. We're watching, and you see what happened there, right? As let's play this back. Actually, let's see where I'm gonna get filled. This should be interesting. So I'm selling the last couple of positions here. There's 23 on the bids. And I look to take another 200 shares off, but we're fluctuating. So I'm in with 200 shares still at 94. We come down to 05 by 13. I'm going to look to take a trade here. But look at what's happening. The moment I hit that buy button, we're already showing 25. So, imagine trying to buy 705 by 713. And, so stuff like this is what's tricky. So let's see where I'm going to get filled here. Looking at where the average price is now, I got filled at 24. These are the type of things that is tricky. It is tricky when you're trading and having to deal with this volatility. Is that a high fill? I would say no. That's a matter of the stock, price action. It's moving. There's millions of shares of volume, tons, thousands of traders watching these stocks, hundreds of millions of dollars. And so right in that area, I needed to utilize a limit order. These are the type of things that throw me off. I'm looking at the stock. I think we're in a good sequence. Some of these things are a little unfortunate. So I'm in at 18. What should be a trade? Let's say I'm filled at like 9 or 10. And maybe I can start selling some shares here again. I'm in much higher. It kind of ruins the trade. And so I'm out there at 20 for 2 cents on what should have been maybe a 15-cent winner, right? So anyhows, let's continue to watch here. We push up to 44, not bad. The halt is starting to show, and the price is between the market price and the halt on the ask is thinning. So I'm thinking, okay, I might want to take this long here. And we didn't really pull back off that high of 44. You can see we did see 28, but there's a spread. And I think I'm going to get caught here a little higher. Let's see. Yeah, I'm in at 40. See, this is not an awful trade, but it's also not, a great trade. Once we got to 44, we pulled back to 28. At best case scenario, I can be in here at 28, but I'm not. There's a spread. It's volatile. Right here, I want to see it. I'm in higher, but I want to see it continue. And right here, I'm thinking it's possible we continue 50, 55, 60, and that jump to 70, maybe 80 for the halt up. But we can see how the level 2 is looking a little bit more thick again here. And I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna keep it tight. I'm gonna stop out in case it's not ready yet. Let's try and get that lower entry. And I believe right here I'm gonna go for it. But we flush out, I think. So I'm in 1514. Not a bad trade here. We get to 30 on the ask. But this is what's tricky. Whilst this is a good entry, 30 on the ask, but then 20 on the bid. So we want to see the bids moving up on the stock like this. We want to see the bids moving up. Let me make sure I'm on single screen, because if I do this whole recap and then I'm on dual screen, I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, good. So I end up taking that off. Well, 500 off. Let's see. How well is this gonna continue? I sell 500 break even, and then I'm selling the other here, the last third for a loss. And then it looks like it's back below the level. Low of the last was 87. Low of day was about 86, 85. I think I did a poor job right there. You see, my mouse cursor was going around the screen. I'm not sure if I eased off because I thought it was a false breakout and we should have went, but I should have been paying attention here because look at where we're pulling back to. A low of 92, a low of 87, low of potentially I think like 85. We want to watch right here to see if the stock is going to hold up again. And it does. And I think I should have already been back in mid 90s here and waiting to see. But anyhow, let's watch here. Yeah, yeah, you see, this is not good. I'm kind of late here. I'm late. I'm super late here. I end up taking 11. I think this is like chasing it. I would say this is a chasing the entry a little bit. Should be in mid 90s. Like being in at 11 is just, if it fails right here, you're asking for trouble. And I know I'm in high, so ultimately I'm a little uncomfortable. Even though it's just 800 shares, I'm not willing to hold it because I know how quickly we can get back to 690. I'm thinking about the risk a lot here. And I ultimately did not hold this one, and it's gonna go without me. This right here is when I kind of knew, like, dang, I kind of, kind of messed up the trade there. So right there I cut it, and maybe like another 10, 15 seconds. We're gonna start to move to like 20, 25. Yeah, there's 23. I remember this particular area here. 33. But I should have been in at 95. Selling now, starting to sell half right here. Or maybe I sold half at like 15. Maybe I'm selling the other half here. And then I can watch and see if high of day wants to continue. So, this is what sucks about it though, is that in this moment, I'm reading the stock extremely well. But execution wise, whether it's the volatility, high fills, or just missing entries, I'm only green 12 bucks, and a stock like this is extremely risky. So when I am in tandem, when I am in a rhythm, we want to see green. We want to see results, not 12 bucks, because the loss is inevitable. It's 100% chance a loss will come at some point. We want to be able to offset a loss by already being nicely green here. We're only green 12 bucks. So what happens when a loss does come? Right to the red. So watching back at this, I'd say great trading, man, but gotta still be a little bit better. Maybe utilizing some more limit orders. I'm trying to be a little bit more careful for the spreads to tighten up, but still sometimes it's just tricky. Relentless trader needs to go to the barber shop, man. Looking Looking like a caveman already. So 30, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. High of the candles, 34, 32. Ooh, this is late. This is super late. But I think I'm watching here for 4. Okay, I'm watching for 45. But I still think I could have maybe reacted a little bit better to the volume coming in, and maybe gotten in at like 28, 30. This is a high entry 37. It's not going right away, and the spreads are opening up. So I'm like, you know what? Let's ease off a bit. I think right here I am going to size down a little bit. You can see I have shares on this other screen ready, but I'm trying again at high of day. This time better fill 31, but it's still fluctuating. We're seeing 20 on the bid. I know we can false breakout and drop right back to 7.10 or $7. I'm not willing to hold it up there. I'm only willing to hold trades longer if I'm in low. If I'm in high, I can't afford to hold long, especially with a spready stock like this. I held a breakout trade 2 times today, a little longer, but we had like 200,000 share buyers, which we can look at. Well, mm, mm. This day, I tell you, this day. So we had two, I would say, smaller losses, like nothing crazy, but we still had, weren't able to get green to compensate. There's 7. Seems like it's holding. I think I'm going to take an entry here in at 06. I like this trade in case we don't actually come all the way down to the lows of about 85. Can we hold up 7? We had a few small buyers there. But then right here, it's like it doesn't seem like it wants to hold. So then I'm watching now. The low is 80. We're making new lows. It's not looking as good. And boom, we end that one down 275. And it's also good why it's good to cut the trade. Let's talk a little bit about cutting the trade, right? If I'm in at 7, the low of the pullback was about 85. Let's just say 85 right here. It's this red candle. What happens if I'm stubborn and I say no? I'm gonna hold this trade to 85. Then 85 fails. If I average down or if I keep holding, it can be trouble. Because look at how fast it starts to happen. Right there, I'm just like, you know what? This thing doesn't look like it wants to bounce. I'm out. 72 on the low, 71, 63, 58, 45. Boom, just like that, I'm down 700. Losing 70 cents, 60 cents. If this thing isn't ready to bounce, and I'm in holding high. Trading is risky, right? We talk about why people lose money. Guys, this is no easy feat right here. Trading is no easy feat. I could have easily gotten caught into that flush down and just been down $1,000 on this stock alone. And this is with me using small size. Much less if I say, hey, I'm gonna take 3,000 shares, 5,000 shares, then I'm down 4 grand, 3 grand. That's how it is. So anyhow, I shift focus to now KNTE. But first thing I'm noticing is that okay, we had to move up. A bit of a false push. It comes down. I think the people who are best positioned here are in at either 209 or 205 because we had this low. We had a bottoming wick here. Either that, the 1 minute candle to make the new high at about 10, or the high of this candlestick here. If you want to say it's a bit of a flag and it's breaking the height of flag, looks like about 15. I've already missed about 2 solid entries, and I'm coming now for high of day. So I've missed. I'm late to the show here. So we have a low of 20 on the last candle, and we have a high of 30 right here. So I'm attempting a high of day push. It's not quite instant. You can see from 30 right back to 25 very quickly. Trying to keep it tight. Selling that quick. I like that sell. If it's not going to go right away, we want to get out of the trade. So we had a high of 31. It comes down to 22. I take the long. I think this might be, just watching where VWAP is. Maybe I could be a little bit more patient for this trade. Maybe take it on the lower side of like 19, 18. But okay, fair trade. Let's kind of see how this work out here. Sometimes I think about these entries and I think about, if I should take more sizing, but I'm switching over to a new stock. I kind of want to get a good read on how it's moving. So I'm in 1522, selling small shares. If it doesn't go all the way, okay. But I think potentially like, getting a bigger position might be better here and then longer hold. I think here I should be waiting for 20 at VWAP. And look at this one, CM. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. Let's just see how this one came up because I didn't get a chance to look at this real time. Oh man, wow, wow. Hold up, let me look at that again. 96. Green starts to hit the tape. We break that seller, 99. Oh, I could have been in with some size right here, man. More green. Took a while to break over one, though. Could have seen myself stopping out there. Would have had to get back in quickly. Can we hold at one and keep going? There's 101, 102, 103. It's gradual. It seemed this wasn't as aggressive as I thought it was. 4, 5. It's a good move, but you still would have had to give it some good time. It wasn't like, right away, right away. But decent though, decent, nice push here. That got up to 108, 106. I think 108. Well, 106 actually. Halt up was at 10. So let's fast forward here. I think this pulls back to 24, and you know I'm watching at it, and I kind of have this two thought process, right? It pulls back to 24 right here, and I'm thinking I want to see if we can get a bit more of a retest. But the volume comes in so quickly here, and I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. But I'm pretty late in this entry, and ultimately I don't like the entry. And I think the right thing for me to do was to cut it. So I took the trade there, 26. But I don't love this entry, so I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna cut it. I think this is a fair decision here on my behalf. I wanted it lower. And we ended up getting 23 with not quite 22 or 20, but that would have definitely been a better position here to be in. The cents do matter on these cheaper stocks like this, that the range is limited, right? So we got to 30. I'm gonna try the high of day breakout again. I think it's gonna work eventually. So it's fluctuating, and then we get the big bid that came in, and I don't think I recognized the bid right away. So what I'm gonna do, I got to adjust my settings to highlight for bigger buyers and sellers. Okay, not right. I did notice it right away. So there it is, 200,000 shares at 28. And notice that I didn't buy multiple times here. When I'm being very aggressive, I'll buy 4 times. Once I see this type of big buyer coming in this high up, I'll buy many times. But the stock isn't really like doing its thing, so I'm like, all right. By the way, I did think SPRC had potential on the resumption. I forgot to say that out loud because of how far, like from 45 to like, you know 645, but we dropped $1 a share. More than likely we're going to see a bounce. But I'm in 29 and this thing doesn't really go. I thought we could have at least seen 37 immediately, 36 maybe. It comes down, the shares start to get filled. And for me, usually when shares are getting filled, we're gonna see most of them get filled, and more than likely the art comes down. That doesn't happen, and so I essentially get chopped out of this move here. Maybe a little too quick to sell. Keeping the stop a little too tight. We could have probably waited for about at least half the order to be filled, I think, for the adjustment here. We had the resumption. I look over a little bit, and again, being in at 32 or 31, whatever my entry was, I am missing the push that I thought could have happened at 37 for a couple cents. 6 cents is 150 bucks, 2,500 shares, and we get all the way to 40 actually. So I missed out a nice 8 to 10 cent opportunity there, or let's say 8 cents. A little disappointing. Attempted SPRC here, but I don't think we got much out of it. CM CMMB. I had a hard time here. I think I took a few trades in this area to no prevail. Um, just couldn't get it done. Came back to this one, saw that the buyer was still there, and I'm like, man, you know what? Let's take the trade. The buyer's at 30. I'm in at 32. Let's see how it does. I was confident that they weren't going to cancel the order, so I didn't mind being in a cent or two above. But it's going to test it. So right here, we came up to 35. High of days at 43. I'm looking for a little bit more room before I look to sell anything here. But I'm going to get chopped out with the same mistake of the stop being a little too tight, being a little too aggressive. So watch this. We're going to come and we're going to start to fill shares. And I'm going to say, you know what, man? It might come down because what does happen from time to time? Sometimes there'll be people holding 40,000 size. Another person could be holding 30,000 size, another 20,000 size, along with all the other people with 5K, 5K, 3K, 2K. Not to mention there could be somebody with like 100K plus size they might want to sell. Maybe they're in at $2, maybe they're in since pre-market, maybe prior days. And if they're using an instrument like level 2 and they see that they can come out of the stock pretty easily without affecting the price, they might just want to take this, to sell. So I'm thinking about that. So once the order does, I'm pretty risk heavy, right? So once the order starts to fill, I'm like, you know, maybe I don't want to be in here too long to see a flush. But once a position like this is there, a lot of times will break below and slingshot, and that's actually going to happen here eventually. So let's see if I can catch it where I sold. So right here. And let's watch how it broke down. Man, the breakdown was so sick, man. It was sweet, but Pastor hesitated. So right here, it came down 20,000, and it actually wasn't that bad. So again, I stopped out too soon. So it's gonna bounce a bit. This was frustrating for me because this is the second time it's bounced up a good 8 cents, and I've missed the trade. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I'm taking these paper cuts. So you guys saw how I took paper cuts on SPRC. Now I'm taking some paper cuts on KNTE as well, and it's like, I'm just like this. If the market doesn't give me something good, man. So we come down, and this is what it looks like when the orders are getting filled. If we bounce again, okay, no, I think it broke down here. So this is what it looks like when the order is getting filled. This again is why I'm so quick to sell the other two times, because I know once we start to move, it's just down. Now let's take a look. 130, 134,000, 134, 20, 16, 90, 90, 68, boom, it's down. But, man, my instinct is to buy if it flushes down below the bid, because there's a huge support up there. A lot of times with slingshot, it's like gravity. Like that order is like gravity. We break below, it comes back, and sometimes we can get the trap. But I expected a break below of by a few cents, maybe 5 cents max, 25. So when I saw 20, right in that moment when I was about to hit the buy button, I'm like, no, let's wait to make sure it's not going to collapse all the way to 15, 10, 5, and then like halt down. And in the moment of me assessing that risk a little too much, snaps back. Snaps back. So one more time, let's look at it. Guys, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. This is me giving away far too much. This is far too much. Trading is still hard, still requires a lot of work. Most of the people already clicked off this video anyways, right? So only the real MVP, relentless traders are getting to see this. So the slackers have already clicked off. Again, how many? Where we at? 24. Oh yeah, 24 minutes. The slackers clicked off the first 3 minutes. Look at how this is filling. Look at how it's filling. 58, 58. Boom. 21. I hesitate, thinking it was too much of a drop. Boom. It starts to curl, and almost immediately back to 30. Dang it. I could have gotten filled at 22. Immediately that would have been a nice extra 8 cents. Because remember, it was pushing up 8 cents gradually, over time from that level of 30. That's a quick 8 to 10 cents as ever as you'll ever get. And so right here I'm watching, I'm like, are we gonna continue to push? So I'm watching, and I'm gonna take it here at 30, 31. I'm like, you know what, this thing might just continue to rip. If I had hesitated right there at 31, I should have took it at 27 really, but if I had hesitated there at 31, I would have missed this trade. And so I'm like, I gotta get in. I'm in. Here's my 8 cents that I'm looking for. You know, 10 cents will be 250. I'm up unrealized 224. Can we continue to push? There's 38, 38, 39, 40, 41. I'm going to take it off at 40, 41. And finally, I'm getting a winning trade when I should have already had three. So if I'm to connect on the if I'm to connect properly at the entry down at 23 or 22, and we do get to sell at 30, let's say 28. We make 120 bucks. 100, let's say 100 bucks. Let's say we capture the opportunity at 30 with the big bid, and we're not even going to say 10 cents. Let's say 6 cents, right? We make another 120 bucks. You're adding, before you're at like 260. If I make the opportunity again at 230 and I add another 100 bucks, I'm at 360, 400, let's say 400 at that point. If I capture this opportunity down there, it's another 10 cents. And then this here's another 10. Before you know, you're up 800. But if you're fumbling the trades, that's where you can get got. And when I saw this, this reminds me of the old-fashioned bull markets that we had GameStop time. Like, I'm starting to think like this thing is serious. Like, for me, when this starts to happen is where I feel most comfortable with size actually, which some people might think is kind of counterintuitive, but I'm so comfortable seeing stocks fly that right here I start to think like, all right, like, time for the halt up, like. But maybe I got ahead of myself a little too much. And we got to keep perspective. We just went from 220 to 240. Where is the dip likely to be? Probably back at 30, and so we got to watch out for stuff like that. If not, if it shows it wants to keep going, you can take it, but you got to keep tight stops. And I can't remember exactly how I handled it here. Let's see. Did I go long here? A little bit of a higher fill there, being a little slower. There's 40, 41. I think I'm going to attempt to sell. It's going to flush back down. Watch this. Yeah, that my in my brain I was already thinking let's take it off. In that moment it comes down. Disappointing trade there. And then back to 22. So if we can see 27, 28, 29, I'm comfortable here. But I'm not expecting from 41 back to 20 again. We kind of gave back everything we just had. So right here, I started to get skeptical. Like, man, what's going on with this thing? But it gets back 35. You can see I didn't really trade it because, again, I'm just skeptical in that area of like what is going on with this thing. It looks like we so let's see here. I'm in at, let's go back. So 2,000 shares, I'm in at 28. So we pushed from a low of 25. Okay, I think I was risking 25 here. If the 1 minute candle make the new low to get out. But I think I might have gotten a little too aggressive with it. So I took 28. I think right there too, it's not a bad thing to just wait. But even if I want 28 and 3 cents of risk, like put the limit order out and be patient because I'm actually in at 29 right here, 28.80, which is basically 29. That in itself is 20 bucks basically already wasted to spreads. It's like a waste of money. So I think, stuff like that can help me out in these situations. Utilizing more limit orders when the stock is not moving quickly. That way I know I can more than likely get the fill and save myself 20 bucks. So being that we came down, it's holding up over 25, I decided to add to watch for the push over 31. We break below 25, and I'm thinking here, maybe a bear flag to sell off, but it ends up holding up. I like that I kept it tight, which is what I needed to do. But yeah, as you guys can see, man, just a ton of paper cuts. Like, right idea, just not quite getting the connect. CMMB, another big red candle there. SLB, SLDB, SLDB, man, this stock here. Ay, 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 ay. So we got to go back and investigate. So my first order came at 83, and it's very similar. It's strange that we see this many big bids in one day. It's not I don't even know if I consider this a pullback entry because it's so close to high of day, right? But some of you guys, I'm using the level 2. I see this big bid here, so I'm like comfortable to hold it. This time I'm like, all right, let's be a little bit more firm because we just made the mistake of selling too soon. Let's sell at the appropriate time. Let's not overcompensate, but let's sell at the appropriate time. I added, which I think was a good add, because why not? As long as they don't cancel this order, we should be good. Right here, we get up to 90. I'm going to take off a little something, something. And I'm watching to see how well we can continue. It doesn't go, so I come back down to one position. I add back again. I think that's good to manage risk. Because we just saw how quickly these orders can get filled. But anyhow, it's over. So I sold again at 90 a half because we had trouble at 90. I don't think this is a bad sell. Can't go broke taking profits. So I'm going to lock in another couple cents right there. 8 cents profits. And now can we push over 90 here? There's 95. I sell another 500 shares. 95 on the ass, that is. And right here, I thought it was going to go right through. So I'm like, I'm going to prep a big position. And I'm just going to wait for the next dip. I'm going to let this 1100 shares ride. So once we push up there, I'm like, okay, let's get ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. And then it's not going to go. So I'm going to take it off right here. I think this is a good sell. But again, me trying to sell at 97, 98, I'm selling at 93 on the bids. Like those couple of cents, man, those 3-4 cents, they add up. It's $40. $40 an hour in the United States of America is still good money. And there it's gone to the wind of the spreads, into the abyss, into the depths. When I trade like this and I'm red, what can I be upset about? Like, it's why you guys will not, you guys will not see frustration from me because I'm following my rules. Like this is just, you get a little unlucky. I think I can position myself a little bit better and be more patient ultimately, and give myself better odds and become more accurate as a result. And I'm gonna work towards that, and I'm working towards that right now. But we're past the first 40 minutes of me trading. Right now, I'm red 260 on one, I'm red 165 on another, green 250 here, red day so far. But to a point like this on the day, it's like, what is there to be frustrated about? Nothing. This is just business. There's no feelings here. So anyhow, so I'm watching and I'm like, I think I thought this thing was gonna go through three. It was showing me all the signs here, and the intuition was there. Going back to the history repeating itself and stocks I've traded in the past. So I'm waiting to slam 3K. Look at this. The bid moves up. And I'm like, hallelujah. You know what's that thing for that commercial called JG Wentworth? 877 cash now. Cash now. When I saw this, my eyes just started lighting up. I'm already thinking I'm buying and the stock is going to just go. Because this person now moved up the order from 80 to 90. And, you know, this is the frustrating part about it, right? Let's go back again. Let's go back again because it's going to look like I was super slow, but let's go back again. There's the order. There's the order showing up. It wasn't really a full second later, and I'm already recognizing to buy it. My eyes is trained for this stuff, man. But freaking hell. Let's see where I get filled. It's already showing 95 by 97. I'm filled at 96. Well, 96, 90. I'm filled at 97. From the stock being about 90. Oh, where were we at? 93? 91 by 93. Oh, man. 91 by 92. Jeez, Louise. And right here, this is a very aggressive move from this buyer. And again, this is a place where I could buy 3 times and take 9,000 shares instead. And when we're back in hotter markets, that's what I'll be doing. But you know, I'm expecting 305, 310. Instead, we get to 99. Nothing's happening. Nothing, no reaction. The immediate reaction, and then it's like no one is interested here on the buy side, which for me is strange to see. And I think I might have gotten aggressive here because I'm still thinking we can do it. So I'm out there keeping it tight. I think I might have added here to 6,000. Let's see. So the spreads, you know, we had 92 by 95. Of course, I'm getting 95. Okay, whatever. I'm still looking for the move, though. The move is what I care about more than the higher fill. Can we get the 305, 310, 315? 99. Right here, I'm just waiting for green on the tape and boom. Now, here's the issue, right? Here's the issue that happens here. This is so unfortunate. I started to think that, you know what, it's gonna go. I'm gonna get aggressive and go for the ad. And it's like the moment the signal for my brain is sent to take it and be aggressive here and go for it, it was just, you know, the decision making in my head to be that aggressive came slow, came late. And ultimately, it's better for me to be in 6,000 closer to the support than to even be adding. And this order is going to come at the very high. This right here is, you know, it's one of those things, man, where it's a bit of me and a bit of poor timing at the same time. You know, the stock could have took an extra half second to go or extra second. And I could have also made up my mind sooner to actually be aggressive and take the ad at 99. Instead, I get filled at 06. My average is now $3. This trade is now ruined. I was much better off just taking the entry I had and just selling it over the level. So, you know, very, very frustrating to not get to capture the opportunity like I should have been able to. And then there's 95 by 302. You know, I'm going to eventually cut the trade here as it's not going to hold up. Because once we break over 3, we shouldn't really come back below the level and linger. We should be, even if we do, we should like be back above right away. So my 250 went to nothingness. And what probably should have been at least a good winner of 300 if I added on time and got, you know, even if the stock was stronger, right? If I added on time and got the ad at 99. My average cost came up to about 97. We got a move to 05 and then 10 and then 15. This is how you make over $1,000 in one trade. I'm in 6,000 size average of 97. Maybe I'm selling up at 15, 16. A 17-cent winner. And it's how some of you guys will see that I'm flat on the day, and then you look away, you look back to the stream, up 1,000 or whatever it might be. That's kind of how it happens. But again, what are we seeing now on the third stock of the day? Me fumbling opportunities, paper cuts, losses where we should have winners. Like, you want to take your keyboard and just, but I understand that I'm trading well, but just a little bit of adjustments. That's what this is, the fine line of trading. The tightrope walk. I'm walking on this tightrope, but sometimes I lean a little too much. I lose a bit of balance. But stuff like this, man, it's a little frustrating. We should have had a nice gain there, not to mention all the other two stocks, right, in areas. But anyhows, we take some shares off of the bid, and let's see how this goes. This is actually a really good position. Actually, hold on. Let's go back. So I have 2,500 at 92. Well, 93. The order is at 92. I sold as the shares are getting filled, which is a good sell. Right here, what did we just see on the last stock? Us being like a magnet to the level. And I think right here is where the fearlessness of seeing the last opportunity work. I don't know if I would say overconfidence, because I kind of needed to buy. I kind of wanted to buy the dip on the other stock, only that it dipped a little too much. I'd have been in. Here we dipped exactly a good amount. The order was at 92. We dipped to about 85. It doesn't continue to show selling on the tape, so I'm in. And right here, I'm thinking, okay, right, once we get back to 92, the red to green for the bear trap is going to start, and we're going to see a nice move. And there's 92. So right here, I'm thinking, yes, and in my mind, I'm actually doing this. And I'm buying again because time for these bears to get some, time for these bears to collect what they deserve. And so I add, and what happens? We flush back to the low of 86. Where I think we should be pushing up to $3 immediately, and then there's 81, and I have no choice. My average is at 91, 5,000, and here's my first bigger loss of the day. Disappointing. And that's how you go from, I think at this point, how many stocks did we trade? Where are we at in terms of time on this thing? This is how 41 minutes. This is how you go from being, you know, let's see, what are the other stocks I traded? So KNTE, we're at 230, we're at 260. That's already about 500 plus another 80. Let's say we're down 600, right? But again, from the trading that I traded, you wouldn't really think I'm down 600, like some small paper cuts, some things like that. Okay, KNTE, we end up making back a little bit. So we're down about 500, maybe 480, something like that here. And then you have this kind of loss, especially where again, the losses are inevitable. But even if I'm to take the same loss, could I have done well on the opportunities going up so that once this loss comes, we're actually offsetting it? And even if we go back from up 500 to at zero, being at zero is better than being down 500. So, the pastor, man, the past of the third, pastor. I don't mind this type of trading, but we definitely got to execute a little bit better on the front side so we can get the opportunities. We dabble around here a little bit. We take some more losses. Let's see where the other loss came. We took 83 to see if 83 was going to hold. I think we flushed to 77. I stop out. Kind of watching the VWAP trade here at 81. I think I'm going to stop out. And then I decided to buy back a little lower, and we ended up stopping out again as we made a new low. I think I widened my stop a little bit here to kind of give it more of a chance at VWAP. It's going to curl up a little bit, but it's going to come right back down with a bigger red candle. So at 88, I knew it was an important area, but I was also expecting that there would be a pullback because we had like 4 green candles in a row. And this for me is essentially a 5-minute setup, is why I wasn't looking to take it off. You know, my risk is 71, 10 cents. But can we get back to 306, which would be about a 25-cent return at the highest? Maybe even if we can get to 95 or high, let's say high 90s, like $3, 97. You know, we had 91. I did think about selling something here at the 1-to-1, but you know, I kind of wanted to wait a little bit more, give it more of a chance. The pullback starts, the pullback never really recovers, and we go to being down. You know, stop out at 74. So not great there. SPRC, we catch another big loss. Look at this. So SPRC is about to go into a halt. Was it here? No, it wasn't there. Let's look at this. Tell you, man. These stocks, brother. Look at SPRC right here. Look at the SP of the R of the C. My hair's been crazy, brother. But we're not here for looks. We're not here for looks, man. We're here for this beautiful charting in level 2. I got this sweet, sweet coconut bun that I'm gonna destroy. It's full of sugar, but you know, the stuff something like this, I'm gonna take a few days to eat. Can't eat all this in one day. I'm gonna rewind this. Rewind that. I haven't done a recap like this in a long, long time. This is like this is like an hour plus recap. We haven't done a recap like this in months, in like 8 months. So, you know, we're at 55. The volume is dead. You know, I'm not really watching at the stock here. I'm watching at KNTE, and I see the activity that come over. It's already, hold on, let's go back. 50, 77, 92. The moment I'm looking at it, we're at 72, about by 92, 72 by 92. And by the time I kind of like, you know, realize what's going on, we're already at the halt up at 706. And so here's a dip to 72. From 706, the halt is now at 710. We've dipped to 72. And so I'm thinking to myself, if I can get a fill on the bid or pretty close to the bid, I like this entry here. So I take a small position and I'm watching for the rebound and retest. You know, the ask where we are now at the market price and where the halt is relative to what the ask is showing, there's not a ton of sellers. So I'm thinking, okay, they're hidden sellers, different price points, whatever. But if we can see some buying again, we can get halted up. So I'm back in. And can we see that push through for the retest? Instant flush. And I think maybe with that red that came, I could have been out a little sooner. Swatched it one more time. I'm in. There's a little bit of red on the tape. But you know, what happened here is that we didn't break below 80 immediately. So look at the bid. There's 72 on the bid. I'm in. There's a little bit of green at 93. There's some red, some white. Market orders, buying at the ask, selling at the bid. Some more red, but we're moving up on the bids. There's some more red. We go to 74 in the bids. But then the bids come back to 80. And right here I was like, okay, a little bit of selling went through, you know, at the bids, nothing happened. You can see some market orders going through right here. And it looks like this is Marcelo's order. Wait, hold on. Let me go check and see if this is Marcelo's order. This is gonna be funny. Because Marcelo took 1500. This is saying 1500. 8601 at 11. 11:06:21. Let's look at Marcelo from Discord, other mentor here. You guys know we trade pretty similarly, right? Let's see. 06:21. 06:21. This is indeed, isn't that crazy, guys? Look at this. This is Marcelo's order. And he's going to stop out at 23:22. And we're both going to get caught in this flush. We ride together and we go to the depths together. So Marcelo, if you're watching on, brother, it looks like we took a trip to the depths. So he's in also looking for that pop, and it's probably worse for him because he just bought. For me, I'm in there at least a few seconds. And this is where we're stopping out. And are we going to be able to potentially get a fill at 44? Probably not. Most people here are putting out limit orders to buy the lows. So if we're going to sell, we're going to get filled on the lows. And just like that, the day has went from bad to worse. And it's where I'm saying, man, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Down about 1,200 right here. Or maybe more, because we're down 7 on the other one. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, we're down about 1,400 here, and that's where the day kind of ended, Had to ease off. Had to ease off. Brutal day, guys. Brutal day. And that's the end of it. So, if you're really watching an hour-long recap, hit that thumbs up. If you're watching to this point, you can say RT and Marcelo took a trip to the depths. Put that in quotations down below so I can know who the real MVPs are. The slackers, they clicked off this video, in the first 2 minutes. So hit that thumbs up. This is one of the old-fashioned kind of recaps. We haven't done a recap like this in a while. We used to do more of these, but people have been asking for shorter recaps, just the basics. They don't have the time, and I get it. Like, a lot of people are coming from work. They got to take care of the kids and stuff, so they don't have time for the full hour recap. They're a little bit more informative, but we can still get a lot of information packed into the smaller recaps, going over more of the highlight trades, the 10-15 minute recaps. But yeah, other than that, take it easy, stay safe, stay green. It's been RT. Catch you tomorrow, bright and early. Oh, what a day. I feel good mentally because I traded well. So it was a beautiful day. Back tomorrow.